thing I've ever seen. Tibor's like... Hello friends, it's Lionheart here, and for the first time in what feels like forever, we are talking Gwent. I'm sat here and it is December of 2024 and I'm sat here without a World Masters and it has me reminiscing. I'm not gonna lie, like a year ago I was just getting back from World Masters 2023 and it was incredible. Finally getting that event back in person again after everything with the pandemic and all of the lockdowns. I mean, it was incredible, right? And it felt like a perfect way to say goodbye to the official support of Gwent, but it also made me realize just how much we'd missed, honestly. And I sit here and I realize that it isn't just now that I'm missing Gwent. Like, this is the first year I've been in a December, not post-World Masters, since I started making content. And I mean, I was involved in almost all of them and certainly every esports season one way or another. So I've been missing it more and more. I gotta be like, I'll be honest, the itch to play, it's been there, and I've definitely missed Gwent, like its community, everything related to it. And well, that kind of led me to doing a Return to Pro challenge. Some of you might have dropped in and seen it live. When I'm playing Gwent, I stream it live here now, as well as over on the, the purple platform. So perhaps you caught some of those, those streams. I'll be honest, it was great. I got to see so many people that I haven't for ages. Lots of people still loving Gwent. It was really nice. Now, my original intention around that was, I'll get back to Pro and I'll make a video for YouTube of kind of, can you climb to Pro with the very last deck guide that I made. Now, the last deck guide that I made was for White Frost and it was all the way back in January. So I was going to come in, pick up that exact deck list, not make any changes, just go with it and make a little bit of a video out of it. If the game, if it was still playable, make a video, cool. Well, I jumped in, I started off, I was in rank 17. I have not been in rank 17 since my first ever time picking up Gwent. Although actually, technically it was the other way around back then, and you had to get to rank 20 for Pro. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. Well, pretty quickly it became clear, well, two things became clear to me. The first, absolutely. Yeah, I could climb to Pro with that list. White Frost is still good. It really wouldn't have been an issue to climb all the way to Pro at all. And the majority of the time, I think from rank 17 to rank 3, I played nothing else. It was, so yes, very clearly, you can still play that. The video's still there. So I don't need to make another one for that specific list. But two, that actually it might be better for me to make a kind of state of Gwent video heading into 2025, because we've actually had a full year of Gwentfinity, right? A full calendar year, just this year now. It technically started somewhere in October, but that was a trial. So, okay, I can maybe answer one of the big questions that I kept being asked. Like when I was streaming the Return to Pro challenge, so many people who loved Gwent jumped back in and were asking the question, Lionheart, is Gwent worth playing now? Well, I think I can probably help you answer that, but before I do get into that, make sure you stick around to the end of this video, because I do have a special announcement and you don't want to miss it. So, let's start by talking about the climb to Pro. Well, I started off with the Wild Hunt Frost list that I made back in January. There's a link to it in the description of this video if you want to go and see the specific deck I would have used. It was still as good as it was when I made that guide back in January. No provision or power changes had been made to the list at all when I first returned to play, which is insane when you think Frost is a complete archetype. We've had 12 months, nothing at all. That really surprised me. I wasn't sure it would even be possible. Maybe the list would have been over provision, or nothing had changed. Now, during the climb, one card did get a power nerf the very first month, and then was reverted straight away in the month after, in true Balance Council fashion. But look, I'll talk about the Balance Council later, trust me. So anyway, we reached, rank 5, and honestly, the overall quality of play has improved, as you kind of expect, right? Typically, rank misc up to 5 can be kind of anything. Rank 5 to 3 is traditionally, I'm going to quote McBeard here, the most fun you'll have in Gwent. And then rank 3 to 1 used to be a bit try-hardy, a little bit meta attempt, and not typically the most fun. That was what my old experience of the climb was. Well, honestly, I didn't have that experience at any stage in the climb. I really didn't. Spoiler for the next section, this was the most fun I've ever had climbing to pro rank. And honestly, I didn't finish the climb with the Frost deck because I wanted to do something else. I ended up playing an Owl's Movement deck. Anyone who knows me knows I love Scoia'tael Movement. They know I love Owlza and just the chaos that can come with that list. It was so much fun, man. I had such a good time. So, instead of a Climb to Pro video, as I said, we're going to discuss Gwentfinity 12 months on. And in order to start that off, obviously we need to look at the good and the bad. But before we start, and we will start with the good, I've got to show you just a couple of moments from this climb. If you've ever seen me play any game, you'll know that I try and enjoy myself, but Gwent just gives you a chance to show off your talent. There's so much joy in this game. You know what? I'll let other me tell you. I'll let other me show you. These are some of the clips from the climb that I couldn't not include in this video. They just want to play another Cantarella? If only we had Wrath. I mean, I've got a 50% chance of getting... You know what? Shall I just get Wrath? Watch. See? You worrying about? Next. Gesrus! I got Gesrus! That might be the best Owlza of all time.
Spices, silks, jewels, please come.
And that's how you beat Reaver players. Pass. I'm going to click this Pyrotech here, and it's going to kill this Kingslayer, and I need you to understand the maths on that, right? There's 7 options, so it's like a 12% chance to kill this guy, but watch. Dodged Igni, I know. All that for a Blightmaker Chief. I mean, that's not ideal, I'll be honest. Oh, that might be the best thing I've ever seen. T-Boar's like... So, what are the good things about Gwent and Gwentfinity 12 months later? Gwent's still great. There's no other card game that looks like this. No other game has the mechanics that Gwent does either, that it doesn't function the same. Like, I'm currently loving Disney Lorcana, for example, as a physical card game, and it offers things that Gwent can't. But it's basically Magic with a better mana system. Like, there isn't a replacement for Gwent, right? And, you know, I tried so many times, and I'm sure many of you have tried lots of different card games and lots of different things over the years to fill that massive Gwent-shaped void that you currently have in your gaming time. And there are lots of things that are fun, and I'm playing lots of different games, which is great, but none of them are Gwent, right? And it is truly unique in that sense. That feeling is still there, which is really nice. The next point and the good, deck diversity in my climb was incredible. I've never faced that many different decks, that many different styles, that many different strategies in a climb before. And obviously, okay, I don't normally climb from rank 17, but even between rank 5 and getting to pro, it never felt like the same deck twice. It was different archetypes, different strategies, different styles, constantly. And it was really fun. It was really fun. If you've been away even half as long as I was, you'll have plenty of ranks to climb. But it was a really pleasurable experience to do so. One of the things that I did think would be a concern, this is a game 12 months out now from official, support ending, might be getting a game, especially down in rank 17, right? Like, come on. Nope. That player base is still very active. Never had an issue finding a game at any given rank at all. Always queued, very easily able to get into games at all ranks with no concerns. Genuinely, there's a lot of TCGs out there that they'd give anything for the numbers of players that Gwent still has. It would beat the peak of lots of other games I have tried. And I shouldn't be surprised, right? Like, the game has always been loved. It's always had a support, but yeah, it's still the case, quite clearly. And the community is still around. They're still interested. They're still passionate. Like, when I go live with Gwent, instantly, loads of people turn up that I haven't seen in ages who love Gwent. They're like, oh my God, you're making Gwent stuff. It's so cool. And even in terms of tournaments, like Matt Old did a whole community masters this year, which was fantastic. A content creator called Lilith has also been hosting loads of tournaments that anyone can enter and putting on, all these competitive events. That stuff's still happening in Gwent. There's so much out there. If you want to be involved, you can join Discords, and there's lots happening. Even like content creators. I may not have been making Gwent content, but Shinmiri's still here. Miyamon, who now isn't called Miyamon and has changed his name like everyone else had to something to do with cat food, I think. Anyway, but they're both still around. Lario is still, Kung Fu Rabbit, many others are still actively making Gwent content for you to enjoy, whether that's by streaming or making videos on YouTube. They're still here and they're still making stuff. Like, I'll leave links to the descriptions, down below. If you're in the description, Shin, Mia, Lario, Kung Fu, anyone else I can find, I'll put just like links to their content so you can go and find them if you're looking for regular Gwent stuff, because they're still out there, right? And one of the things, okay, I'm about to go on a bit of a rant now, and I'm still in the good section. In the last year, and I mean the last 12 months, the Gwent team, who don't work here anymore, had pre-planned all of the seasonal events, and they're scheduled to go on into Infinity. What they did forget to mention, though, or if they did mention it, I certainly missed it, was how many new cosmetics were coming in with the seasonal events in 2024. Like, brand new ones, things we haven't seen, not just the older stuff recycled coming back, if you might have missed it. Like, potentially some of the best that's ever been in Gwent, and they've gone in this year. The leader skins that we never got from Thronebreaker, yep, they're here. New card backs, other cosmetics to go for existing leader skins, obviously avatars and all that. They programmed all of this in advance before they left, so that it would still be there, so that when you got to all of these events, there was still new stuff for you to find. I said it was a rant. Obviously that's incredible. I'm so frustrated that we also didn't pre-program the socials to post in advance of these things from the Gwent, X account, or any other, even just on the news page of the website, to tell us this stuff was coming. I had no idea these things were going into the game, and then I'm queuing up and I'm seeing card backs I don't recognize, leader skins I've never seen, and I'm thinking, wait, did I miss something here? There's actually a lot more stuff that's gone into Gwent that we just didn't know, but hey, should I really be that surprised that Gwent's not getting marketing? I mean, that's probably on me, but you probably missed that stuff too. You should definitely go and give it a look. And this is, a lot of people, when they heard about Gwentfinity and when the original announcement came out, a lot of people jumped out there, stopped playing, didn't invest any more time in it, kind of mid to late 2023. And they completely missed the final card drop. I didn't really think about this, but when I was streaming to, Reclimb to Pro, lots of people were asking, wait, I don't know these cards. But wait, what's that? Where's that come from? I thought there were no new cards. I think a lot of people misunderstood when Gwentfinity was going to happen and missed a bunch of content. You may well be one of those people that missed the final expansion. A lot has changed since the last time you think you knew everything about Gwent. But on the flip side to that, now that all the cards are in the game, if you've been away for a while like me, and you've been away for like the whole of this year, well, there are no new cards, so your learning curve to pick the game back up, well, it's not that big, honestly. I didn't struggle too much because your muscle memory kicks back in of, oh, okay, so I know they're this, which means I don't know exactly what cards, but I know roughly what they're doing or what they would have been doing. The archetypes are still the archetypes, the combos are the same. You haven't got to relearn everything. So it's really easy to just jump back in and play, right? Because not that much has changed. The fact that not much has changed, though, does kind of lead me into the bad. The Balance Council's kind of impact on archetypes, as I was a bit worried about, it's about making things unplayable, typically, rather than making archetypes better. It was always going to be much easier to get people to agree on nerfs than it was to agree on buffs, and while there's some amazing work being done by pockets or communities, my feeling about the Balance Council is that it's tribal and that it's a bit tedious as a concept. If I'm being honest, the concerns were predictable, they were things we all discussed, but yeah, yeah. Let's move on to the Balance Council. Feels like the right place to start off what I think is the bad. So when I was writing this video, I found myself kind of rereading back through the messages from members of the old Balance Council that I was a part of and the Gwent team. We were very lucky to be involved for years behind the scenes in the PTRs and stuff like that, and obviously were aware of what was coming. Looking at the concerns that we kind of presented to them, the ones that they gave to us, and the worries about any system post-support, and this specific system, I'm a little sad that most of the things we were worried about kind of have happened, and I'm left wondering, some of the changes are happening, and they are keeping the game fresher and more engaging, but some change is better than no change, I think, even though I would say a lot of the changes seem kind of silly or thoughtless. Trying to physically break cards or archetypes because you don't like them, make things consistently nerfed so they become unplayable, and just a general lack of understanding of how balance works. Gwent and the Gwent team were always moving towards consistent change, but at least a perceived parity, whereas Gwentfinity is not about balance, it's about constant shift. And I think my perception, based on it being called Balance Council, is probably wrong. It's not that. Balance isn't what it's aiming for, it's not what it's trying to do. So, am I happy with what's come out of it? No. A lot of it frustrates me. When I've jumped back in, I'll be honest, I have intentionally not even looked at what's being voted on, because quite frankly, as I say, it feels quite tribal. Groups are banding together to try and push through a few things they want, but most of the time it's reverting what a different group voted through because they felt like it the month before, and it feels like we're not actually moving that much in reality. But again, the potential of something is better than nothing, I think. I reminisce about the ideas of the things that were kind of discussed as options. There was originally a concept of a small balance council that would intervene in these things, but it could never have worked in reality, because how do you vet those people? Who are they? They would be inherently unpopular almost always with almost everybody. What access would they really have? And what right would they have to override people? All those things. And I mean, even the idea of set rotation was mooted in place of something like a balance council. But I'm glad it was dismissed, because I think that would be much worse. Gwent was never built with the idea of rotation in mind. Gwent didn't bring in sets that were kind of in isolation to themselves necessarily, at least not consistently. So they continued to flesh out archetypes. Like rotating out specific ones would just throw balance right out and would have kind of a finite cap. Gwent didn't have 100 expansions, it's not Magic. So it would very quickly cap each season of working out, oh, okay, so this is good and unplayable because this stuff's gone. You know, I'm really glad that that's not the case. And we had expansions where they tried drip feeding parts of archetypes in towards the end, right? And it was, I think, Patience. Patience as an archetype was awful, busted and needed nerfing because it got all of its tools. The reverse would probably be the case if you're taking specific tools out of archetypes. Just wouldn't have been fun. So I'm glad we didn't go down that route, but the Balance Council overall, yeah. One of the things that did annoy me, and my sample size here is tiny, okay? I got to Pro, I loved it. I said it earlier, that climb to Pro was the most fun I've had in Gwent in forever. And then I hit Pro rank. And that bubble burst like that. I played 10 games in Pro. Tiny sample size in the big picture. My opinion on this by comparison to someone like Shinmiri or whoever who plays way more Gwent still and is doing great probably isn't that impactful, but I played 10 games. I faced 9 control decks. 5 of them were Skellige, 4 of them were Nilfgaard. It wasn't fun. It was tedious, it was boring, and it was repetitive. Now, maybe I was just unlucky in this instance, but all of that great deck diversity, all of the fun, all of the enjoyment, it just vanished. Now, again, Pro can be, you know, it could be a little try-hardy in theory, but that was more the sort of 2475 to 2550 range before. 2350 to 2450 were just a clown car of randomness, effectively. I don't feel that way, or it certainly didn't now, right? So, yeah. Although one small win, player names are no longer hidden at all. I love it. I absolutely love it. When they first banned them, I didn't really care. It didn't really make any difference to me, but I know a lot of people had really strong opinions on it. It didn't bother me. Since I've played other games and where the card game is a lot more social and who you're facing makes a bigger difference, I kind of get it, and it's really awesome now. If I queue into someone and I see a name that I know that I'm facing that person somewhere in the world. It means I will think differently, play differently, be excited. And I know that on the other side, somebody else out there is thinking, oh, who's that? Who's Lionheart? And it makes me feel a little warm and fuzzy, you know? So that, okay, I don't, you know, we're in the bad part, but a nice little win. Even in Pro rank, the names are there. I like that, I'm gonna be honest. I guess the only other bad is we're 12 months in to Gwentfinity now, and the Balance Council's impact, as I say, hasn't been great, but there's kind of diminishing returns on this kind of thing. A game with no support, how long can it go? I mean, there are examples of games lasting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years without it because the community is passionate and it loves it. So maybe, but eventually we're going to reach a point where every change is made or reversed and made again, and people will get a little bit fed up. I don't think Gwent is anywhere near there yet. I'm going to be honest. Okay, maybe they're making a decision and going backwards and forwards. Nonsense. I think there are some cards that have been changed basically every month since this started. Looking at you, Nausicaa Sergeant. But yeah, I really don't think Gwent is there though, and I don't think it's as close to there as you might think. I mean, if you've been here since the beginning of Gwent, you suffered through Midwinter with me. You tolerated Homecoming, right? I would say this isn't even the longest drought of content that Gwent's gone through yet. So, you know, there's still a lot to enjoy in there. One day that day will come, and I really hope it's not soon. Obviously, the less people that want to play, the harder it is to queue, and it will start to trickle off, but it doesn't feel like it's hit that point yet. And that's really cool. I really like that. So that's kind of the good and the bad. So, the outcome. Overall, Gwent, 1 year in, it's a mixed review. There is no perfect system for a game when official support ends, and you might have noticed that I'm really quite heavily critical of the Balance Council's changes, but they are changes, and they're ours. So it could be a lot worse than this, and I think Gwent would ultimately be in a worse state if they left it at a finite final point and gave us nothing. I genuinely do feel that. For all the frustration, change is still change. And I don't know how many other companies would have taken the extra time and effort to give us what the Gwent team did. The speed with which their resources were being taken, but the amount that they did to put the game into the position it is, honestly, it should be applauded. And I'm really happy to see where Gwent is now, you know? Can I see myself, honestly, hand on really pretty Gwent blazer jacket thing, can I see myself sinking most of my gaming time each week into Gwent like I used to? Honestly, no. But can I see myself playing a few rounds of Gwent every now and again because the game's really fun? Bet your ass you can. I really loved that climb, and I've been having that Gwent itch for months now, and not doing it because I wasn't really sure what I was going to return to. Do you know what I mean? Well, if you've been missing the game like I have, honestly, go play it. It doesn't cost you anything. The learning curve to return isn't massive. There are still great content creators out there who can help you pick up a deck if you don't want to worry about what provisions of powers changed. I don't think you're going to regret it. You know? I really don't. And I did promise if you waited all the way till the end, I would have a little announcement. Well, maybe you need an extra reason to play Gwent again. Maybe you like shiny things. Well, as you know, Ghost Aria and I were lucky enough to be around Gwent for a really long time. Both of us played in the original beta. As a result, both being casters, etc., we've acquired quite a lot of Gwent merch over the years. Now, you may know that we are also married and now live together. Happy days. Well, that merch is now doubled and is in one place, and it's in our house. And you know what? I think you guys would be much, much better off with it than we are. We've got art books, we have badges, patches, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're running a Gwent giveaway for some of that incredible stuff that we have found over the years. And it does include one of the very last ever in existence sealed shoops. We are giving away a shoop. So you can have one. Most of you probably missed out on them. This might be the last ever chance, genuinely, to get yourself a shoop, among many other things. So if you do want to win, I've left a link to the giveaway in the description, but if you're in my channel or if you're over on Aria's channel, you type !giveaway and it's still running, you will be able to enter there as well. So please do. It would be so cool. I'm likely to make more Gwent-based stuff every now and again, if you want me to. So let me know, I suppose. Like, if you've made it this far into a video of just me talking, genuine, I really appreciate it. And I hope I get to catch you in one of my chats or the comment section of this video sometime. If you do want to see me make more Gwent content, because I do miss it, let me know. Whether that's pick a faction, if you really missed the Lion Cub content and would like me to make a video of starting Gwent in 2025, that kind of thing, let me know. After all, if chat wants something, it is kinda hard to say no. You know? But, my friends, we have reached the end. My review on Gwent, a year into Gwentfinity, actually, it's still a lot of fun. Should you play in 2025? I think so. I really do. I know I'm gonna be. So hopefully, I'll see you somewhere there. My friends, I love you. I hope to see you all soon. And keep your eyes on this channel because there will be a special upload coming of content made by the wonderful Ryan Godric and his Gwent journey, and it's going to be uploading here. So, if you're not already following the channel, please do so, because trust me, unless you made it to World Masters, you won't ever have seen this footage, and you don't want to miss it. Thank you for being here. Hopefully, I will see you next time.